And now, in his 11th NBA season out of Washington State University, number 11, Klay Thompson!
Oh, he is back. Everyone's so excited for this. Ryan, time for some quick takes. Klay Thompson making his long-awaited debut after a 31-month layoff, returning to the floor from separate ACL and Achilles injuries and scoring 17 points in 20 minutes with that win over the Cavs. Ryan, what do you think about Klay's return?
I think it was absolutely phenomenal. This is a guy that's not known for dunking on folks, not known for his athleticism, and he came out and showed it right away. He got up 18 shots in 20 minutes. That's the Klay Thompson that we want to see. He'd been chomping at the bit for this opportunity, and he said this was right below winning a championship. Amazing to see Klay back.
And next up, Ja Morant and the Grizzlies keep soaring to new heights. Morant's two-handed chase down block on Lakers guard Avery Bradley was the highlight of the night. Ryan, is this one of the better blocks that you've seen?
This absolutely is one of the better blocks that I've seen, and I wish y'all could run it back to when Michael Jordan was playing with the Wizards and he got to face the Chicago Bulls and he picked that thing against the backboard. Then he looked at them boys like, you know who I'm the GOAT. Ja Morant is the guy who's the top 5 in the MVP voting right now. This is the team that went on a streak while he was hurt. Now that he's back, he's showing and proving that he's one of the best point guards in the world today.
Really nothing he can't do. Okay, guys, let's go back to football.
Is this season LeBron's biggest challenge?
I don't view it that way. I think that he's had incredible challenges throughout his career. I would still say to you that the greatest challenge of his career was when they beat Oklahoma City for the title that year, because it was fresh off of them losing in the finals to the Dallas Mavericks and the pressure that mounted on his shoulders. I'm telling you, as a person that covers the sport, it was nothing like it. I mean, we were all sitting there looking, and it was like, oh, you better get it done now. This is it right here. Legacy, everything. Even though he had a career, obviously, that was still, had more than a decade of, almost a decade of wheels left on it and all of this other stuff. The fact that they had assembled, and the fact that he had said not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, 5, 6, 7, and then they lost to the Dallas Mavericks, Dirk Nowitzki, who they were favored to beat. And in the same breath, it was Dirk Nowitzki, but there were times in the fourth quarter where Jason Terry was guarding you. Hey, you did not abuse that man, even though I love the Jet. You did not abuse that man. This LeBron James we're talking about. The heat that was on him, I'll never forget this, Key. JJ, following year, they down 3-2, and they got to go to Boston. Boston's got them up, got them down 3-2. Paul Pierce, KG, and the crew looking to close the deal, and we all descended on Boston. It was like, yo, this is it. This is it right here. You get bounced out from this. Ain't no coming back from this. And that brother dropped 45 and 15. That, when they show that photo of him looking like he a man possessed, for crying out loud, he was just in a different zone. It's because he knew at that moment in time, in my opinion, just covering sports, there comes a moment for a lot, not all, but for a lot of athletes, where winning will propel you to new heights, losing will sink you. You just ain't coming back from it. And that's what it looked like for LeBron at that particular moment. And I've always viewed that as his toughest challenge, because to me, it was like, if he didn't overcome that, I don't think he might have ever learned to become a champion.
Interesting. See, for me, what I'm listening to him say right there is, it is his toughest challenge because of everything that Stephen A. said. He got over. He won those championships.
Right.
So I'm through that now. Now, I done went out there. I done asked for Anthony Davis to come. We won one. Last year, we didn't even make it. We got bounced. But now I done went out and got Westbrook. I done brought the old band together into Dwight Howard. Now I'm bringing in Rondo. I got Ariza coming when he's back healthy. So I got all the old goods coming back. But I also recognize and I realize that we are not where we want to be. And it's going to be hard to get there. It's going to be challenging to get there. And everybody was doubting me based on last year coming into this season. Even though I assembled all these pieces and put things together,
that's the part
people
that's
are
hard
starting
for me.
to
There's so
doubt
many
him.
stars on that team to say this is the most challenging, and you've got AD and
But
Russ
you got
on your
it's
squad.
challenging, but it's challenging
like
because
the
you got to
tiny
put it
violin.
together. You got to put it together, and it's not together yet. That's what he's talking about.
JJ, where are you?
The greatest challenge of LeBron James' career was bringing a championship to Cleveland. He had 5 opportunities to do that. That 07 team was completely overmatched. They were a little bit early. They didn't have the talent. All right. You look at 2014, he plays the Warriors, or 2015 rather, he plays the Warriors. Kyrie hurts himself. 16, they're down 3-1. That's the greatest challenge. LeBron has said it himself. He said it himself. It's the best championship. He thinks it's the best championship in history. That's arguable. But to him, that is his greatest challenge. And if you look at all the teams that he brought to the finals with Cleveland, other than 15 and 16, those teams were overmatched. This team right now with the Lakers has 2 future Hall of Famers on the team. This is not the greatest challenge of his career.
But why would he say it?
He didn't say it. Don't put words in his mouth.
But I'm just reading what he said.
It's right up there with the greatest challenge.
But
it's right up there with.
He did. That's how you didn't take it that way.
No, I didn't take it that way.
So
Not at all.
don't mince his words through your rose-colored glasses.
No, I think what JJ is saying as well as Stephen A. It is a challenge for him, but when you look at it, they're not playing good basketball. What are they, 500 right now?
500,
yeah, 500.
They're not playing good basketball.
7th in the West.
When is that going to happen? That is a challenge. I don't care how great the players are that's around them. They're not playing good. They're not playing good, Stephen A.
We talked about this off air a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
And we said, what is their ceiling in the regular season? And you guys felt that it was maybe a 3 seed, maybe a 4 seed.
Yeah.
Well,
and I said they look like they're headed for the play-in game. Now, the way the big 3 have played the last 3 games, there's certainly an opportunity to move up in the standings.
Right.
But this is not a team that's going to be a top 3 seed in the West.
The Lakers and the Bucks family ain't spending whatever the payroll is right now to be the 7th seed or the play-in game.
They ain't
That's why it's a challenge.
But that's currently what it is.
But let me break this down. First of all, I would warn you to be careful about what you say about J.J. Redick because he got this podcast blowing up, and then he leaves and talks about us. You understand what I'm saying?
Is that what you do, man?
Be careful. I got to show up and invade the podcast
Stephen
so
A.
I can correct him for that.
Sensitive.
You know what I'm saying? I'll get him later. I'm gonna get him later. It's no worry.
What did I say on the podcast? I said you were one of, if not the most talented person on TV. Period. It was very flattering. I
appreciate the love, and I think you're one of the greatest shooters in NBA history. Ain't nothing but love here. But I remember I heard that interview with Mikal Bridges. We'll talk about that a little bit later. You're not getting away with that. Okay. But let me get back. Let me get back to my point. That's right. I got rabbit ears. Tell him. I watch everything.
He watches everything.
Here's the thing. You see, you got to be careful what you say about it because he's going to quote you now. But here's the deal. When you talk about LeBron James and that challenge, it's just a personal preference. I'm going to always hold that suspension of Draymond Green against LeBron James and the Cleveland Cavaliers, only from not his fault, of course. I'm talking about the league giving him that stimulus package, knowing that he was got to get bounced out in 5 back at the Oracle.
But you got to be fair, though, Stephen A., because Kyrie got hurt.
No. This is not the finals.
This isn't.
No, I'm talking.
You talking about the game?
When they suspended Draymond and then Bogut and Iguodala got hurt the game. Draymond.
Having watched LeBron now for nearly 20 years, that we are seeing the end of his indestructibility. Not the end of his greatness, but just he can't go on like this forever. We judge too many things with the standard of Tom Brady, who's moving around, let's be fair, relative to LeBron in a small spot. LeBron is up and down the court.
It's called a pocket.
A pocket. LeBron has no pocket. That's right. And as a matter of fact, the other night, when he had that incredible reverse two-handed throwdown, I'm still looking at him, and there's not the fluidity of movement because he's got injuries. LeBron didn't have injuries. The 2 things that always impressed me the most were LeBron James always makes the right play on the court, decision-making. Always. And he was indestructible. Greeny, when you have a series of injuries 3 times in 4 years, you're not indestructible anymore. And the Lakers are not going to be the Lakers that people expect if he's,
I want to make clear what it sounds to me like we're saying. Stephen A., has the era of LeBron James being the league's dominant player come to an end?
I wouldn't go that far because I think when healthy, he could still be that guy. My question to Wilbon, albeit rhetorical, is where have you been? I mean, LeBron James was hurt last year, okay? The reality of
is not a,
all I'm trying to say is that
pattern.
What we're seeing right now is what we anticipated. Why do you think Russell Westbrook's there? He's 4 years younger. Okay, he's averaging, he's shooting 26% for three-point range. He's averaging nearly 5 turnovers a game. But what did we say? We said LeBron is 36, and Carmelo Anthony is 37. We're looking at Russell Westbrook. You're 32. You're going to quickly